Om Namah Shivaya, I'm Swami Sitaramananda. So now we're going to start the webinar, the satsang today. So we have 5 translations. We have Japanese translation with Yamuna, Vietnamese translation with Priya Chaitanya. We have Chinese translation with Kumari, Taiwan, and we have Yashoda, Russian translation. So we have 4 translations today, and we have the co-host Swami Adi Parshakti, and my name is Swami Sitaramananda. I'm talking to you from Dalat Ashram, and this class is about, it's a repeat class. It's a repeat class from last time, about 2 weeks ago. We started, and then we have electricity cut, and then Zoom problem, and so now we push the class to today. Okay, so I don't know if you have been there last time or not, but we just start from scratch. Okay, it's a very interesting, it's a little bit complicated class, so we do the best we can. Okay. So any question, if the translator have problem, then you raise the hands, yeah. And one time I will be sharing some screen, a little bit. I will involve you a little bit in the talk, so you are more involved. Okay. So everything seems to be okay, perfect. So we would we'll start now. Okay. So the topic is like this. It's called Yoga Guidelines for Thinking and Feeling. That means we will go through many kind of thoughts and feelings, and we try to identify them, and we try to, if you like, manipulate them or change them, and understand where they come from. Okay, so that's the class of today. And then the subtitle is about you are what you think, and you are not what you think. So this bring in the philosophy element, how to think about our thoughts. You are what you think, of course, is the power of thought. Yeah. And it's not that simple, because you are what you think refer to the thought power, refer to, sometimes nowadays people talk about the law of attraction. I mean, whatever you think, you pull that thought down, and you would manifest that thought in your life. Yeah. So you are what you think. So it's in a good way, I mean, you think and then you manifest something. In a negative way, I mean, you think negatively, and somehow you also harm yourself from that kind of negative thinking. And the other way is how to understand that we are not our thoughts. I mean, there is another level of our existence that is beyond our mind, is beyond our thoughts. So what we like to do today is we talk a little bit about thought and how it works. We do some visualization. So you can bring in a certain visualization of the nature of the Atman, of the self, because the whole point is we want to know the truth about ourselves, and to know something you have to start to think about it. Yeah, and we have no idea, so then we need to contemplate on the nature of the Atman, or the self. So that's the first part. And then after we talk about, you know, thoughts that are coming from the 3 levels of mind, yeah, and how we move from a low level to high level of mind, how to convert our thoughts, and, you know, how to eradicate negative thoughts or vices and cultivate virtues. Okay, so that's our plan of tonight. So now we have 98 participants. I don't know where you are from, if you have been there the last time. Maybe some people can say a few words. If you've been there last time, you can use a chat. You can say hello, where you come from, and have you been there when we started the talk 2 weeks ago? And then we've been interrupted by technical problems, and then now we repeat the talk again. Can somebody say something? So I have an idea. Carlo, Cavada, where are you?
Say where you're from too, everyone.
Yeah, where are you from?
Canada.
Canada, okay. So it's new for you today, okay? Somebody else? El Dorado Hills, California. I was not here last time. I'm from UK. This is new for me today. I'm from America, from Maryland. New today. I was last class in California. I'm from India. Yes, attended last time. From Vietnam. Germany was there last time.
Dr. Sharma's here.
Who? Dr. Sharma from India. Wonderful. Okay, and somebody in Russia.
French Canada.
Bay Area, Toronto, Canada, attended last time. Somebody from San Francisco, from Francisco, not there last time. Quincy, California is new. San Francisco.
2 from Germany.
UK did not attend last time. Okay, somebody from Japan. Jill, BC, Canada, was here last time. From Japan, nice to meet you. Sarah, I was there from Italy, very good. I listened to Swami Satsang. Linda, first time here from Montreal. Stay in Dalat last time. Attended from Japan. I'm from Texas.
Italy.
Hello from Japan. Okay.
Taiwan.
From Tokyo. Okay, Keiko from Tokyo.
Montreal.
Carlo, glad to be here. Somebody, Anna from Russia.
Texas.
Okay. Eva Michael from New York. New. Okay. And who else? Narayan from Kerala. Wow, wonderful. Thank you. Denise, first time from Mount Shasta. Ron from Washington State, USA. So far we have about maybe 5, 6, up to 10 people that were here last time. Okay, who else?
Los Angeles. Chicago.
Vietnamese. Lý Lạc Ngọc Xuyên. Tatiana from Ukraine, first time. Tomoko. Okay, Japan. Narayan B. Was there last time too. Maggie from Hong Kong. Okay. Okay. Very good. So that's it. So now we are 107. I'm not sure 107 people have presented themselves, but welcome everybody from different places. Somebody asked, will there be any notes available from today's talk? Usually the notes from today's talk are uploaded after in the blog of the Yoga Farm. Okay, so you can go to the blog of the Yoga Farm website, and you find all the past talks, past satsang in form of writing, and also in form of YouTube. Yeah, YouTube recording. Somebody coming from Taiwan, Bija, maybe from India, I'm not sure. So thank you, Lakshmi daughter. My name is Cherry. Oh, Lakshmi daughter from Taiwan. Yeah, nice. Okay. So, okay, let's start. I wish you well. The class is a little bit complicated. Like I said, I do the best I can. Okay. Because in one class we want to cover the whole thing about thinking and feeling. You can imagine, right? Yeah, it's very complicated, but we want to have we want you to have a general idea, so you can navigate your thoughts and your feeling yourself, knowing where they come from and knowing what to do with them. Yeah. Okay. So when thoughts arise in the mind, thought is like a wave. When it arrives in the mind, and when they arise in the mind, and if you are not paying attention to it, you are not putting energy in it, then it fall down, it will sink back into the ocean of consciousness. Yeah. So the wave of thought is not the reality itself. It only has reality as far as you keep feeding it. So you get that? The thought is real as far as you keep repeating it. If it's true for you, resonate true, and you keep thinking about it, then that thought becomes real. Okay? Thought is energy, and there's an energy of the ocean of consciousness, okay, on which thought come and go, rise and fall. Okay, so so that's the most important thing to understand. So if you don't have any thought, the theory of yoga is you don't have any thought, and you just stay and rest in your true nature, rest in this ocean of consciousness, then you become blissful. That ocean of consciousness is don't have any thought. The theory. Okay, so we like to do that. We like to rest in the ocean of consciousness that is blissful. However, we have thoughts that come and rise, and sometimes very intense thoughts, and then we cannot be free from them, and we are obsessed by them, and so that is the problem. So can I have my screen big so that the people can see me? Can I have my screen big? Okay. Can you remove this?
Speaker view.
Bigger view or speaker view. Okay, thank you. So, so yogis try not to feed into the thought so much. Yogis are cool. That means they are calm. They observe the thought, they let the thought come, let the thought go. They don't dramatize things, they don't go up and down, they don't try to be too extreme about their thoughts. They live life lightly. What that means? That means they go through life without drama. Because if you have drama, if something becomes very serious, then it creates an imprint in the mind. And when the imprint is there, it's just like a food that is not well digested, like a heavy food in your stomach. Then you just have to, again, try to digest it and try to digest it. And then sometimes the food come back up again and you have to chew it again, like this. Okay, so yogis understanding that the ocean of consciousness, like I said, is our true nature, is our peaceful, blissful self that always there, always present, but we are not aware of it because our thoughts are too busy. So we are too caught up in our thoughts. That's why we are not aware of that background of bliss that is always there. Okay? So the idea is you have to be able to see both, because you have to be able to remember that pure ocean of consciousness, blissful self at all times, if you can remember that, in between the thoughts, if you can remember that. And then you have to also work out, we say worked out, the thoughts that are in your mind, which come from your, we call, quote, quote, karma, which comes from your habits of thinking of the same thought. Okay? Because of the habits of thinking of the same thought, that's why you are caught in them. So that is called our karma, our tendency or our patterns of thoughts. So we have to work on both levels. Now, the important thing for you to understand is evolution of mind is evolution of consciousness. So this is something I need to explain a little bit. That means consciousness is your true nature. Yeah, it doesn't evolve because you are pure consciousness. Yeah, but why we say evolution of consciousness? We are referring to the nature of the mind. When the mind is gross, when the mind is more subtle, when the mind is more quiet, when the mind is more pure, then it would allow the light of consciousness, which is within you, to shine through. So that way you say, oh, I have evolved. No, you are not evolved because your self is pure consciousness, always perfect, always pure. So what's happening is really is your mind that become more subtle. Okay? Your mind that become more enlightened. So the Buddha is an enlightened yogi, basically, is when his mind is pure and transparent that allow the pure consciousness, or that light, of consciousness to shine through. So that's why we say evolution of mind is evolution of consciousness. Okay? So we need to navigate through our thoughts and our emotions in order for us to grow, or we say evolve, or self-developed. Okay? So it's all about our thoughts and emotions, but doesn't mean that we evolve in consciousness. Yeah, it just means that we allow the consciousness that is already there to shine through. Okay. So now, so who we are in reality, in truth. So I'm just, instead of going from the thoughts, going to the Atman or the pure consciousness, I'm going to go around and go from the Atman or the pure consciousness, who you are, and we need to think about this thought. The pure consciousness is beyond qualities, but we would have to try to wrap our mind around it in order for us to eventually come closer to it. Because if you want something, you have to really think about it. If you don't think about it, then you will never know it. So you have to think and embrace it and think more about it. The more you think about it, the more you become it. The idea is you are what you think. Okay, so if you think you are a weak person, that's what you are. You think you are a woman, that's what you are. If you think you are old person, that's what you are. If you think you are a white person, this is what you are. So this is, and then when you are thinking like this, you get caught with that thought. Okay? So what that means, you get caught with the thought, it just means that the pure consciousness, who you are, will become tainted by that thought that you have about yourself that is not pure. So therefore, there will be many other thoughts that come after in order for you to work it out. Okay? That means what? Work it out means for you to eventually confront the thought of who you are that is limited, that is not true, in order for you to eventually find out or realize within yourself, in the silence of your soul, who you are. Okay? So that's why we need to think about the Atman, even though the Atman or the true self, like I said, is not describable. Yeah, it's not qualifiable. Cannot be understood with our intellect. But now we need to use a little bit of our intellect in order for us to have an idea. So the best word that usually the yoga, the Vedanta philosophy talk about is the three words called Satchidananda. Yeah, the Atman is Satchidananda. Sat is truth, existence absolute. Chit is knowledge or consciousness absolute. And Ananda means bliss, absolute. Okay? So quantum physics, which is you can say the new science. Yeah, it's not a Newtonian science, Newtonian physics. Yeah, the majority of physics scientists now are still talking about the Newtonian physics. I try to borrow a little bit from what we call quantum physics. If you are interested, you can do some research. Okay, there's many books and talks and university even about this. And one day I would invite quantum physicists to give you a talk. But basically, quantum physics talk about consciousness as the ground of being. Okay, so the new sciences talk about consciousness. Yeah, before we talk about matter, but we don't talk about consciousness. Okay, so somebody wrote here, Sadashiva quantum physics supports all the teachings of yoga. That's correct. So teaching of Vedanta philosophy. Okay, so consciousness as the ground of being. Okay, so now we are talking about consciousness. So last time I gave to some of you some words to think about, because a lot of words, but we need to really wrap our mind around it and think about it, not in a normal way, but contemplate about it. Okay, so now I'm again, I'm going to just say these words, and maybe you can choose one of these words and then you can think about. Okay, so Brahman, or that pure consciousness, we call Atman when we refer to the individual, is existence absolute. So somebody can think about this. Existence absolute means it doesn't, it was not born and will not disappear. Yeah, it always exists, always there. So somebody can think about it. Okay, you can write it down. The Atman also can be knowledge absolute. Knowledge absolute means consciousness absolute, knowing everything. Right now, what we know is conditioned by time, space, causation, and limited. Okay, but that which knows everything from within, knows everything, is the Atman. Okay, so that's why if you know your own Atman, then you know everything from within. You have no quarrel with anybody, you don't have conflict with anybody, because you see things from the Atman. And the Atman also can be bliss absolute. Bliss absolute means what? Somebody asked me the other day, what means bliss absolute? Is you can imagine when you don't have any frustration, any desire unfulfilled, any separation, anything that you feel incomplete about, then you are in bliss. Okay, so imagine that state of mind when you are completely contented or more than contented, joyful or more than joyful, you are completely at bliss. That means you are you have nothing to say, you have nothing to wish for, you have no desire, you are completely happy. Okay, so somebody can choose that word. Our happiness, normal in our normal consciousness, with our mind, our happiness comes and goes. Our happiness is conditional. If I get this, I will be happy. If I don't get that, I will not be happy. If I'm be with this person, I'll be happy. If I'm not with this person, I'll be miserable. So, but the Atman, or your own true self, is always at bliss. Yeah, because it's never want anything, never miss anything, never been separated by anything. And for us, we are all the time in the condition of being separated. Yeah, basically we are separated from our own self. Yeah, so we are all the time seeking for the connection, seeking for the light, seeking for the knowledge, seeking for our path, seeking for our life. Yeah, we're seeking for our mother. We are like the kid that is missing mother, seeking for home, seeking to return home. Okay, so now somebody else take this one. Atman gives light and beauty to the universe. Okay, so whatever you see as light and beauty, this universe sometimes, is beautiful, right? When you see the clouds, you see the blue sky, you see the trees, and the light shining, and everything is just like so perfect and beautiful. Then you think that universe that you see with your senses is real and is beautiful. But in fact, it is the consciousness that is beautiful, yeah, that gives the beauty to the universe. Okay, somebody that you see that as beautiful, also the beauty of that person is not from the shape of the nose or the color of the skin or the hair, but it comes from the Atman within, yeah, that shine through that person, expression, feeling, prana, energy, yeah, as beauty. Okay, so when you fall in love with somebody, in fact, you're falling in love with your own Atman. Okay, so I hope that you are doing the exercise, which is to choose one. Okay, I cannot designate the words for you. It's too complicated, so you have to do it yourself. The Atman gives intelligence to the mind. Again, the same. When you see something intelligent, it's the Atman that shines through that mind. Okay. Atman is unbroken awareness. So imagine, yeah, if you are aware, then you feel very fulfilled, very happy. Unbroken awareness, that means all the time aware. Yeah, no time, no moment unaware. When you become unaware, you function automatically and you are not happy. When you become aware, you are so happy. Yeah. So the Atman is unbroken awareness. So think about this. Yeah. The Atman is neither inside nor outside. So what is inside? Inside is inside our mind. What is outside our senses. So the Atman dwells within and without, inside of us and outside of us. Okay. So inside of our inner perception, our thinking, outside is our outer perception, our senses. Okay, the Atman dwell everywhere. There is no inside nor outside. Okay, the Atman is also beyond space-time. Okay, so we think in terms of space, we think in terms of time. So by saying that, the Atman is beyond our mind. Yeah, so in quantum physics, it says non-local. So the word in quantum physics is non-local. Yeah, that means it's not, you cannot localize it in somewhere in space. The Atman is eternally present. Okay, it's all the time there, all pervading and eternally present. It is the subject. Okay, it is not the object. Okay, the object is the object of perception. The subject is the perceiver. Yeah, the conscious awareness that sees something, that knows something. Okay, so the Atman is a subject. You want to be the subject or you want to be the object? Yeah, sometimes people, don't like it when people fall in love with you because of your body, or because of your wealth, or because of some feature of yours. Then you feel that you are an object. Yeah, so you don't feel that you are being loved for who you are, right? So you want to be the subject. What that means, the subject means also that you are all-powerful, that you are the master of your life, you are the master of everything. There is nothing that is alien from you. Imagine that state, yeah? And it's not the object, I mean, it's not limited. So you can take this point of view as well, that anything that is limited, that is describable, yeah, with your mind and your senses, not the Atman. Okay, so that's why there is, in Vedanta philosophy, there is a technique, neti, refuting something that is limited to not being the Atman. And when you refute enough, then what remains is the Atman is unbounded. Again, that idea that it cannot be limited, unchanged. So please write it down. Unchanged is very important. Yeah, the quality of the Atman is unchanged. So when you face with something that is changing, like our job is changing, our life condition is changing, nowadays with the pandemic, everything is changing. Yeah, the way how we travel, the way how we think, the way how we communicate with each other is changing. I'm talking to you here online. Is before, a few months before, and it's unheard of. Yeah, so everything is changing, but what is changing is not the Atman. So that's why don't be shocked, don't be surprised, don't be grieving when things change. Even our body change, our mind change, people's mind change. Sometimes you get very upset because somebody is talking to you, I love you, and the next day they don't talk to you anymore, and they completely forget about you, and you get all shocked. Yeah, but that's the nature of the non-Atman. That means the mind that is changing. So don't be surprised. Yeah, so you just have to learn that that's the way how it is. Everything is changing because you get disillusioned. Why? Because you believe in this, yeah, to be permanent or to be true, but it's not. So that's why the wise person all the time keep the background of the Atman in mind, knowing this is to be the truth, and everything else, with a grain of salt. It's not really it. So you don't get also upset. Okay, so the Atman is unchanged, unmoved. Okay, again, it's about the idea that it's very stable. So sometimes people feel very insecure. Yeah, they're insecure with their life, with their job, with everything. But what kind of security you want? Yeah, this is the world that is relative. You cannot find this perfect security in this world. Yeah, unfortunately. So you have to find the perfect security within yourself, because when you rely on the Atman, the deep your deep self within, or your soul, or your inner spirit, if you like, then you are more secure. Why? Because it's unmoved, it's unchanged. The Atman is all possibilities. This is beautiful because, you know, what that means? That means anything can happen. Yeah, anything can happen. And it's all because the work of the Atman, all coming from the Atman's will. Yeah, so don't worry about this. Sometimes we worry so much, trying different kind of scenario, what can happen, yeah, but it's all possibilities. Yeah, the Atman is undefinable, we said already. It's stainless, I mean it's pure. There is nothing imperfect. So when you find something imperfect, that's not the Atman. Okay, then you need to withdraw. Yeah, you get disillusioned, but you need to really step back and withdraw, and try to perceive the perfection through your silence, through your meditation, through your soul. Because you know, anything that comes to your mind and your perception, your emotions, cannot be perfect, cannot be perfect. So that's why we are all the time unhappy. Yeah. So you need to step back. Yeah, you need to be in silence, and you can find that place of perfection that is within us. Okay, so it's stainless. It cannot have impurity. It's perfect. Okay, it's beyond attribute, beyond qualities. It's beyond the gunas, or the three qualities of nature, the tamas, the rajas, the sattva. It's also beyond. Yeah, it's beyond duality. Anything that can be split. Yeah, here and there, this and that. Yeah, we become very aggravated because all the time we feel split. We are in a condition of living a life that is split. Yeah, so we are here and we say, oh, why I'm not there. Yeah, high, then we look at low, low we look at high. Yeah, white we look at black. Yeah, green. All the time something missing. The grass is greener from somewhere else. All the time there is a duality. Yeah, so that is the condition of our life, all the time split and never feel fulfilled, never feel at peace, never feel perfect. So you need to keep in mind a level of truth that is within you, that is perfect, that is beyond duality. Okay, so in that peace, then you can find fulfillment. Okay, so always remember that level of thinking. Atman is eternal. Okay, so when you lose something because it changes, things are ephemeral. You know, our own body also is changing. Then you need to refer to that Atman that is there, that is eternal. The Atman have no equal. Have no equal. What that means? It's one. The Atman is one. There is no thing to compare to. Yeah. So if you are living in this world of objects, and always you compare, you compete, different things, that makes you very restless. So need to refer back to the Atman, that it has no equal, that is perfect, that is completely united. Atman is transcendent. What that means is transcending the limitation of the mind. Okay, Atman is a supreme reality. Atman is a supreme truth. Yeah. So some of you is looking for bliss, but some of you is looking for truth. Some of you is looking for knowledge. I think I started in my life to look for happiness, to look for something that is stable in happiness. But then eventually I look for truth. I look for consciousness. So it's all these different words, but it refers to the same thing. Okay? Atman is self-luminous. What that means? It doesn't need anything to illuminate. So it's compared to the sun. Yeah, sun is shining by itself. not compared to the moon, that is the mind, that needs the sun to shine in order to be enlightened. So Atman is self-luminous. So you find the Atman and you find the light. Yeah, it's fully illumined. Atman is fully illumined. That's why it is said, fully enlightened. Okay, so a person that is that has realized themselves, they are enlightened. Okay, the Atman is self-existent. I mean, it doesn't need something to show that it exists. So why sometimes people get very sad because they are lonely. They don't have a girlfriend, boyfriend. They don't have a close friend. They don't have family member, and they feel that they don't exist. Yeah, because they need to exist in the eyes of somebody, right? So, but the Atman is self-existent. So that's why sometimes if you can be alone, not in the eyes of somebody, not talking to somebody, and you feel very fulfilled and very happy, then you are actually closer to the Atman. Okay, you have to do this experience yourself. Yeah, sometimes you can put yourself in that situation of being in quarantine with yourself, and you are so happy and so fulfilled. You don't need the cell phone. You don't need to talk and call anybody. You don't need to see yourself in the mirror. Yeah. And yet you are so happy. Yeah. So that's because you function out of your Atman. Atman is undifferentiated. Again, it has no qualities, without names and forms. So anything in this universe, you have to name it by a name. Yeah, like you say a box, you say a cell phone, so it's all name. Yeah, you say a pen is all name. Form, you see, long form, short form, round form, green form, and so on. So the Atman is beyond names and forms. So when we are quarreling, when we are desiring, when we are comparing, always we are comparing different names and forms, desiring different names and forms. So we are not desiring the Atman itself. The Atman is without parts. That means it cannot be divided. Transcending appearances. So whatever that you see as appearance, it's only an appearance. I mean, it come and go. Yeah. So the sometimes, you know, a beautiful day, you look at things, oh, beautiful, something beautiful, and you want that moment to stay forever. Yeah, but you know also that it will not stay forever. So at that time, instead of grasping the appearance and wanting to stay forever and cry that the appearance is not staying forever, you need to transfer, you need to see it from the eyes of your soul. Instead of seeing the sunrise or the beautiful face, yeah, of a person that you love, then you have to see the Atman within that phase, within that sunshine, within that landscape. Yeah, then at that time it transcends the appearance. And if you can cultivate your eyes to always see that like this, yeah, then you're always in bliss and you're always happy because you are not disillusioned by the appearance. The Atman is pure love. Okay, so love come and goes. Yeah, sometimes you have heartache and, you know, misery out of love. You fall in love and fall out of love. But the Atman itself is pure love that is behind all the kind of loves that you have known in your life and more. Okay, so you need to refer back to that essence of love, which is the Atman. The Atman is unity of consciousness. So therefore, there is a place where we all connect. Yeah, we all suffer because there's so much segregation, so much division, so much people have so much problem, you know, with each other. This group against this group, this nation against this nation, these people against these people. We live in that world. Yeah, but we need to refer back to a state of consciousness where there is only oneness, unity of consciousness. That is the Atman. We need to step back when we suffer from all these conflicts. Yeah, sometimes, you know, I look at the news, I can't believe what's happening. Yeah. So, and then you get reactive about this, angry, and sometimes, very sad. But you need to, step back and remember there is a place, there is a truth that is one. Okay, where everyone will meet, because we are from that essence. Okay. So the Atman is oneness. The Atman is beyond action. That means you don't need to do any action to find the Atman. Yeah, and Atman is in itself everything. It doesn't need to act. Yeah, and you don't need to act to find it. Yeah, you just need to contemplate, calm your mind down, and see and meditate and see it within yourself. The Atman is aware of the ego. Now, this is very interesting because, the ego is a sense of I, separate I. Yeah. So the Atman is aware of the ego. What does that mean? That means that whatever you do, the Atman is the witness, is watching. Sometimes the ego is inflating itself. Sometimes the ego is pushing itself down. Sometimes the ego is twisting things. Yeah, but there is the eye of consciousness of the Atman that is aware of all the different games of the ego. The Atman is aware of the mind and the emotions. Okay, again, the mind and the emotions is being seen, perceived, yeah, known by the Atman. Yeah, the mind and the emotions are not the you know are not the, how you say that, the ruler. Yeah, are not the ruler. There's an inner ruler that is the Atman. Yeah, that is detecting all the changes in the mind and the emotions. The Atman is called the knower. Yeah, it's a subject, so therefore it knows everything. It's called the ruler, the top, the boss. Yeah, so we refer to the Atman like this, like the ruler. Okay, and the Atman is absolute. Okay? It is compared to the sun, giving light and life to all. It is independent. I mean, it doesn't need anything to depend from. It is a source of all prana. Okay, so if you have prana, it's because of the presence of the Atman. The Atman is the source of all prana. Because it's a source of all life, because it is a source of consciousness. Yeah, so therefore it's a source of all prana. So when you are closer to the Atman, then you have more prana. When you are away from the Atman, or you are being more veiled from the Atman, then you have less and less and less prana. Yeah. So you can see there's a lot of consequence from understanding what the Atman is. So thoughts are waves that rise and fall in the infinite ocean of consciousness, which is the Atman. Okay. Therefore, it is said you are not what you think. Okay, you are not what you think, because we refer to that. That thought is not everything, but thought is part of the Atman. Thoughts are the waves in the ocean of the Atman. So therefore, it's also part of the Atman. Yeah, but it is not it. Okay. You are the observer, you are the witness of your thoughts, and you are not your thoughts. So all meditators arrive to the same conclusion. They arrive to the same experience, that the meditator, the object of meditation, and the act of meditation become one. So that's how they describe it. Okay. So in the beginning, there is a split. There is me, the meditator, and I meditate on that pure object of meditation, and I'm doing this, the meditation. So there's a split. Yeah. But eventually, when I meditate long enough, deep enough, then the object of meditation become myself. And I don't even know that I am meditating. I'm not doing anything. I am. Yeah. So the knower, the known, and the knowing become one. Okay. the answer to the question, is consciousness evolving? We already explained. Consciousness is unchangeable. It's our mind that evolves. Okay? So how do we train our mind and unveil the self? How do we make the mind become more thin, more pure, more transparent, so that it can so that the light of the Atman can shine through. Okay, so that is the question. So are you okay, everyone? The translator, everyone? Okay. So so now we come to the another phase of the talk. We talk now about the mind. Okay, and remember why we talk about the mind? Because we want to evolve the mind. We want to make the mind become more closer to the truth, more shiny, more enlightened, more calm, more transparent. Okay, so that's why we talk about the mind. So now I'm going to show you a diagram. I share my screen. I show you the diagram. Okay, so I hope you can see the diagram of the 3 levels of the mind. Okay, so we want to evolve the mind. You have the Atman here, that is the background, but you have the mind. So you look at the triangle on the left side. Okay, don't worry about the right side right now. This is the left side. Then you see the triangle. Sometimes it's compared like a piece of iceberg, yeah, that float in the ocean, and the boat come closer, and it can have boat wrecked because it did not know that underneath that little ice that is floating, there's a huge mass that is underneath, hidden. Okay, so here the triangle, you see the top portion, teeny, yeah, we call it superconscious, higher than consciousness. And you have the consciousness. You can see the consciousness is like only 5%. Superconscious for a person that is not trained is like 0.1. It had never really exist from time to time. Yeah. And then the consciousness level. And then the big portion is underneath. It's called the subconscious mind. Yeah? 95%. Huge, hidden underneath. So whatever we do, whatever we say, we do not know our motivation. We're not aware of our motivation. We're not aware of our habits. We're not aware where that comes from. So it's called a low mind. And that low mind, if we follow the low mind, it does not necessarily help us to evolve. Okay, so the subconscious mind is the first phase of the mind. Okay, that means what? That means we share that same mind, yeah, with all the different species. Yeah, but then after that we are also equipped with the intellect. So the subconscious mind is hidden and is very powerful, and it relates to past experiences. Okay, so you look in there, you see the past experiences. That means whatever that you experience in your life or in past lives is all imprinted and recorded in the subconscious mind. Okay, it's like the hard drive of your computer. Okay. Also, all your learned experience, yeah, whatever that you have learned is all recorded in your subconscious mind. Yeah, sometimes it just come up, some things that you you knew, sometimes just come up, and you thought you forgot, but then it's there because it's all there. So in the subconscious mind, you also have the instinct, yeah, animal instinct. You have survival instinct. You have herd instinct. I mean, follow the crowd. You have what else? Territorial instinct, possessive instinct, um, 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 I say reproductive instinct. Yeah, that's a big one. Reproductive instinct. So all the time, your mind is looking for a perfect mate. Yeah. So it's a subconscious. You in a crowd like this, and you are all the time looking, and you pick somebody. Yeah, that's how it works. Because your subconscious mind all the time is acting. Yeah, 95% huge is acting, reproductive instinct, and then with it the emotions, lower emotions, anger, greed, hatred, jealousy, envy, fear, lust, all is in the lower mind. Yeah, and the habits. So when you think and you think again something, then it's a habit. Yeah, it's a habitual mind. So you function very much out of our habitual mind. So we drive the car, we wake up in the morning, we go brush our teeth, we dress ourselves up, we go in the traffic, and then we, all out of habits. It's not, it doesn't need any kind of conscious thinking. Okay. And sometimes something happen, then you get shocked because you cannot function in like an automat anymore. And at that time you wake up and you think about it. Some of the rare time that you think about when you have some kind of shock. But most of the time we function in an automatic manner. Okay. And it helps us, but at the same time it's a big drawback because we're not evolving. Yeah, talking about evolution, we're not evolving, we're just repeating pattern. Okay. And sometimes we go backward. So that is called the untrained mind. So we have the conscious mind, which is a higher mind than the low mind. And you have the superconscious mind, which is the seat of the intuition. Okay. So one is instinct, emotions, habits, past. Conscious mind is intellect, where you are in the present. And a superconscious is intuition. Yeah. You transcend time and space. So now the idea is we need to contemplate is the mind is made of samskaras. Samskaras are past impressions or the karmic patterns or the patterns of thinking. Okay, that makes us function like autopilot. So now I'm just to show you, because I want to show you that what you think you are is in fact is just your pattern. So show the picture number 2. So I show you the picture number 2. Need to close this one, and then okay. So now the picture number 2. Most of you might not be familiar with this, but this is a Vedic astrology or Jyotish birth chart. Yeah. Just to say, at the moment of your birth, your ascendant, then you are born with certain characteristics. So we call the 12 area of your karma. Okay. So what you think of who you are, in fact, is just the habitual mind repeat itself, yeah, from lifetime to lifetime, and it show up in this lifetime in this particular form for you to learn something about your true self. Yeah, whatever that we are learning is always learning who am I, what is the true self, and that which I believe to be myself. Yeah, but it is not myself. Okay, so that's always the learning. So now, please look at this. You have this. This is South Indian chant. So I'm just going through with you. So, and I'm going through with you with one angle. Just you know, there is a multitude of angle in Jyotish. There is a science of karma and the science of time. But I'm going to go through that particular point of view of the mind and emotions. I mean, your liking, you know. So just to show that it's all already imprinted, and you think that it is you, but it is not you. Okay. So now the number one, let's say you are born there, then the moon in the first house, yeah, which is your body, yourself. So it makes your particular mind that is very much self-concerned. Okay, and it's already there. So moon in the second house, then you are concerned about money, about food. Yeah, so that's a particular imprint or habit from your past experiences in your subconscious mind. Yeah, you like food, you like money. Yeah, and moon in the third house, then you like arts. You like communication. Moon in the fourth house, you like to love. You are a very sweet person. You like to love, so people loves you, and it's easy for you to love people. Moon in the fifth house, yeah, you like to learn. So you study a lot. You go different. You take different level of education. And moon in the sixth house, you like conflicts sometimes, and then it's an area of weaknesses. So please understand that I will not try to go too much into the Vedic astrology here. I'm just using that science, that is a Vedic science, just to show you that everything is imprinted, everything is already there. Yeah. So there is so much in it, but I don't want to go through the details of it. So I just say a few words. Okay. Moon in the seventh house, and that person likes the partner. Yeah, they all the time have to look for somebody. They like to have a partner. They think about the partner all the time. Moon in the eighth house, they like the psychic world. Okay. Moon in the ninth house, they like the teacher. They like the Dharma. Moon in 10th house, they likes to work. Moon in the 11th house, they like gain, they like to be successful. Moon in the 12th house, they like charity, they like to give themselves away, they like liberation. Okay? And sometimes you have moon without any other planets around, moon alone. Yeah? So they feel lonely. They easily feel isolated. Moon and Mars together, they feel, they have fast emotions, they're action-oriented person. Moon Saturn, they're introverted person. Moon Jupiter, they are generous, very broad vision. Moon Rahu, then they have a lot of imagination. They can be delusional sometimes. Moon Ketu, they can be very detached and abstract. Moon Saturn Mars, they can be perfectionistic. Moon Ham between malefic, they can be tense. Naturally, they're all the time tense. They have if you have full moon, they can be very easily empathetic to others. If you have exalted moon, then you have a lot of emotions. You have moon debilitated, you have a narrow mind, and you are attached. Okay? So this is just one thing, which is the moon. You have 9 planets and it move around and then influenced by different planets. So very complicated, but just to say that all these are in your subconscious mind. That means you're born with this, but what you're going to do with this, yeah, you can change. If you know the pattern of your mind, you can change, because the mind is not you. Okay, so we talk about the different instinct. I think I will jump. I will not go. Just already explained earlier. Yeah, survival, procreation, herd instinct is something to think about. I mean, you cannot stand alone. You always have to follow the fashion. You have to follow the crowd. If people think, majority of people think that eating meat is good, then you cannot be vegetarian, because you feel very weird. Yeah. So you like to be like everybody. So, but that comes from your herd instinct. Okay. Territorial instinct. Okay. So this makes that sometimes you feel insecure, yeah, anxious, and you need to find out what is it that makes you insecure, what is it that makes you anxious, and you might have to use the second gear of the mind, which is the conscious mind. So you have to think it out, you have to reason it out. You cannot just be subject to the low mind, yeah, that function out of past experience. So if things are always the same, if I have the same habit, I see the same people, I live in the same environment, then I feel safe. Yeah. So that is because our subconscious mind talk like that. But if I say all the time the same and I get attached to everything the same, then I will not be able to grow. Because if I grow, it means that I need to be out on the limb. That means I need to be not be so attached to what I knew, because I know the truth is there and I want to come closer to the truth. So I don't want to get attached to the untruth, because it gives me a sense of security. Yeah, I get attached to eating that meat dish that my mother cooked all the time on every Sunday. And even though now my conscious mind, I did research, I know how it's harmful for the environment, yeah, meat eating habit, and how there is a very, it's very unethical. There's so much unethical action in the fact that, the industry create the meat for you to eat, yeah, and also ecological is not sound. So my research, my intellect shows that, and yet I'm being pulled by the meat dish of my mother, because I've been eating that for 20 years. Yeah, that chicken curry for 20 years. I cannot change. Yeah, so you can see how it works. So we have to make conscious choices, and conscious choices sometimes feel very um, uncomfortable. So we have doubt, that is this true or real, because it feel not good. It feel, nobody think like this, and I'm lonely to think like this, and my emotion doesn't buy into this, and my past experience did not show this. And yet your intellect or your higher mind shows that this is the right way of thinking. So we have this different kind of conflict in our mind, and our habitual mind work against our progress sometimes. Um, the we need to put in order for you to evolve, because you know there is a level of truth, that is there, but you need to work with your mind in order to get there. So you need to put the conscious mind in charge, because as human we are equipped with the intellect, and when somebody behave like a brutal, like animal, you get you know that they are not really so they act like animals sometimes, right? So we are equipped with intellect, and we need to use our intellect. And we need to know that the subconscious mind is a seat of habits, and we should not be victim to our habit, though. We can use our habits, like habit to wake up early with the sunrise. You can train our subconscious mind to be our 100 secretaries, to be the helpers, yeah. But you put the intellect to be at the driver's seat. Okay, so yeah, so I can stop the share screen. Leave this one, stop that one. Okay. 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 So what we want, are you with me? Very intense, a lot of information. So what we want to do is to train our mind. Okay. So you look at the other triangle, you reverse the thing. Yeah. So you have the base of your being is no longer the subconscious mind. Yeah. It's still there, subconscious mind is still there, but it's much smaller. Yeah. You see, it's like an ice cream now. It's much smaller. And then conscious mind become bigger. Yeah. And the super conscious mind is being more developed. So this is what we want. So we want to move from the predominance of the subconscious mind in all aspects of our life, dictating our life, yeah, to the conscious mind, yeah, choosing. Conscious mind has the right to choose. Even the subconscious mind is influencing, but conscious mind is choosing. Okay, and so conscious mind is in the middle, and it is influenced from both sides. You have the subconscious mind that is trying to influence and pulling the conscious mind toward itself. Okay, so the subconscious mind say, but I want to be secure. Yeah, I want to be on top of top. Yeah, I want to attract to myself the best mate. Yeah, so that the subconscious mind is talking. Yeah, and use the conscious mind. Okay, so in order to do that, I need to maybe find another job so I can be good looking and make more money. So on the market, then I will find, better mate, because, nobody would want to marry me if I don't have a job. I'm just a yoga teacher. Nobody would like me. So if I can find a job, have a nice car. So that is the subconscious mind that is using the conscious mind. And sometimes we justify our decision making, but in fact it is the subconscious mind that is governing. And then you have the conscious mind and subconscious mind sometimes in conflict. Sometimes people say there is a fight between their emotions and the intellect, and they know that they should do something, and yet the emotion all the time pull them to do something else. Yeah, they know, but they don't act according to what they know. So they are in conflict. Okay, so in order to help yourself, you need to have the influence of the superconscious mind, which is the higher mind that will help the conscious mind to make decision and to go further. Yeah. So sometimes you cannot really think, you get confused. So you need to go to somebody that has a more developed mind, and that person would would say, yes, you need to do this. And when the person say that, and you say, oh, I always knew that, but you are not acting according to it. Why? Because the subconscious mind is pulling back. Yeah. So you need some reinforcement from the superconscious mind, your higher intuitive faculty, and also people that are pure at heart, pure at mind, the saintly people, the people that are already sages and wise. And sometimes you don't know how to decide, you can go to them and they can see further, longer, and they can see, your weaknesses, and they can reinforce you, in a different way than the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind always try to pull you down to the past, to the known, to the safe, to the instinct. And superconscious mind know that the truth is there. Yeah, there is nothing you have to lose, and you are not. The more that you find the truth, the better it is for you, and the more that you get attached to the past, to the body and mind, then the more you stay away. So that's why superconscious mind is a different story. Okay, so you need to when you make choices and you don't know, and then you need to go to higher mind to help you, so that you can be not be influenced by the subconscious mind. Okay, so the conscious mind is the capacity to make choice. So we make choice all the time, but we need to think really, are we making choice? Yeah. We make choice in the present. The conscious mind bring you to the present. The subconscious mind is always the past or the future. So conscious mind use the intellect. So sometimes it takes a long time. You have to think and make decision, and you still make mistake, because the conscious mind or the intellect is not perfect. When you go to the intuitive mind, then because it's a higher mind, then it can be very fast. You don't have to think too much, and yet you don't make mistake. Okay, but very rare people can use their intuitive mind, because the intuitive mind look like the subconscious mind. Sometimes you choose something very fast and you do something and you think it's my intuition said to me to do this. But in fact, it is your instinct, subconscious, emotion mind that is as strong, and it makes you believe that it is the truth. But if you function out of your low mind, subconscious mind, then you are going backward. You are not really progressing. So ideally is you be able to function out of intuitive mind that is higher than the consciousness, higher than the intellect. But in order to develop the superconscious mind, you need to meditate. Okay, when you meditate, you become more intuitive, and if not, then at least use your conscious mind, use the thinking and reasoning. Okay, so Swami Sivananda say, the present is superior to the past. So we live mostly in the past, always being pulled back to the past, always defining ourselves as the past. Yeah, but present is superior to past. Present is, you cannot really even describe the present, but that feeling of being, of beingness, of being in the present, being very fulfilled in the present, that is superior to anything that you can refer to in your mind from the past or from the future. Okay, so all your anxiety come always from the future projection that is compared to what you have known in the past. But what you could have been, what you could be, is infinite. There's so many possibilities, yeah, of what you could be. But you always refer to a certain past, and you project it in the future, and you miss out yourself. Einstein says, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness from which it was created. So, if you dwell in the mental patterns of the past, you can never solve the problem. Okay? Sometimes you can see that you go round the same problem forever. You can never solve. But why? Because you always use the same mind. Only by coming to the present, we can be free from the past, and it opens up all possibilities where the solutions to our problems lie. Okay? So there is no problem that cannot be solved. Yeah? But if you try to face the problem from the same level of consciousness, yeah, then it cannot be. Let's say you solve the problem of racism, yeah, white is better than black, black is better than white, like this. It can never be solved. Yeah, so you have to change consciousness to the level of the Atman. Yeah, there is a self that is one, that is beyond gender and is beyond race. Yeah, then at that time you find the unity, you find one. So that when you start to fall back into the past, into the, the discrimination in terms of race or gender, then my mind is going back to the old paradigm. So I need to shift paradigm again, because that's the only way how I can find some peace. Otherwise, in the old paradigm, it will be quarrel forever and ever. So you need to live in the eternal present. Okay, the present feels sometimes difficult to grasp, but the past is dead. Yeah, you refer to the past, it's very concrete because it's your past experience, it's very real, but it's dead. It has no life. The present, even though it's difficult to grasp, is real. The future does not have to be a replica of the past, because you refer to the past to project your future, but the future does not have to be at all closer to the past. So if you hold the present, you hold the future. If you hold the past, you are victim to the future. Okay? So now let's talk a teeny bit about the subconscious, the superconscious mind. Sometimes in some literature, Sri Aurobindo talked about supramental, the supramental. Anyway, it's the seat of the intuition. Intuition allows us to know in a flash. It does not make mistake. Intuition can come only from a sattvic mind. And it's not an impulse, which comes from the emotional low mind. Okay? So if you want to have more intuition, you want to go straight to the truth and not make so much mistake, you need to meditate more, and you need to make your mind become more sattvic or more pure. Okay? So The conscious mind takes time to think. Intuitive mind is immediate. Okay, and but sometimes we make mistake. I see very often time, so easy to make mistake. Yeah, so the subconscious mind is powerful, is fast. So what time are we supposed to finish? 9:30. So we have half an hour, so we move a little bit further, but I hope you understand the three minds. Yeah, intuitive feeling are very different than emotional feeling. Okay, even though if you have a strong emotional impulse, it feels very strong. I need to do this. I need to buy this. I need to be with this person. Yeah, but you know, um, and intuition can be as fast, but intuition would not make mistake, and subconscious mind can make mistake. Finding good, you can want to be with the person, finding good, and then you know how long the relationship lasts and bring a lot of hardship. So the superconscious mind always pull you up, okay? And the subconscious mind pull you down. Intuition is universal. It connects the mind to its source of wisdom. The lower mind is always selfish, full of desires. So page 16 for the people that are translating. Yeah, so you go there. Now, the idea is the yogi need to navigate your three levels of mind. Okay? So ideally you can invert that triangle. Ideally that you would you would not function out of so much subconscious mind. Yeah, the subconscious mind can be there, like you know, your instinct of preservation. Then you don't cross the street and get crushed by a car. You know, so the subconscious mind can protect you out of all this program from the past, but it can be kept as minimum as possible. And then the conscious mind can be developed. That means that you can become aware of everything you do or think, or everything you live a life of consciousness, awareness. Yeah. So sometimes we say mindful. So you are not functioning, you know, automatically. You become aware of your subconscious mind. You know yourself. Okay, and eventually you meditate, and then you can have flash of intuition. You can have very high sublime feeling of oneness of everyone. Okay, so to develop the three levels of mind and to accelerate the process of self-development, to summarize, then you need to, okay, so let's remove this. Stop sharing. Okay. So somebody say, I like to have the diagram. It will be in the blog. It will be in the article in the blog. You can have it. Yeah. So remember the three minds. To summarize, what you need to do: develop awareness, exercise reasoning, surrender one's will to higher will, overcome unconscious and base instinct, practice consciously the sadhana or the spiritual discipline to accelerate the process of moving from darkness to light. That's what we want to do. So in meditation, what happens when you meditate? Your subconscious imprints are being cleared up. Problems are resolved by themselves. The conscious mind is activated and becomes clear. And the superconscious mind can now dawn. Intuition will dawn. Yeah. So you know things in a flash, and you don't know how do you know it, how you come to that idea, how you come to that conclusion. But you can rely a little bit more on your intuitive mind. And then when your mind becomes more sattvic, then you can have a glimpse of the Atman. So this is complete the second portion, and we have now half an hour. So we just take a 1 minute break, and if somebody want to ask something, then you can ask, because I would move into another section of the talk. Anybody want to ask something? I see the Q&A here.
Was the talk supposed to be 2 hours?
9:30 was supposed to finish, no?
I thought it was 90 minutes.
So when I'm supposed to finish?
I don't think we announced the time, but in general, you want to do 2 hours or 90 minutes?
2 hours today, I thought. So one new message, can you see the message? So somebody is asking, somebody said the Russian translation is gone.
That's a long time ago. It's back.
It's back now? Okay. So how to start meditation?
We have a beginner meditation course starting next week. I can give him the link.
Okay, so can you do that? Very good. You need to have a teacher, because meditation is not just only the technique, but also the whole lifestyle of meditation that you need to learn. And the lifestyle of meditation is basically bring about the sattva, or the purity, which is what we are talking about now. Okay, so you are the Atman, you have that mind with a lot of thoughts that belong to the subconscious mind, conscious mind sometimes, rarely superconscious mind. You're navigating between the three minds. And one of the way how you navigate is you have to know your thoughts, how it look like. Your thoughts are like your children. You have to know their character, and you have to know how to change them. Okay, so this is the last section here, when we learn a little bit how to convert the low mind to high mind, how to convert the negative to the positive, how to convert the tamasic, the rajasic to the sattvic, or the purity. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a whole bunch of words, and just to educate the mind. Somebody is asking, the moon with sun is a dark moon. What that means, a dark moon? In the night, when you have a dark moon, you cannot see anything much. It's dark. In the full moon, yeah, you can see the whole landscape. It's very bright. But in the dark moon, you cannot see. So that's to respond to Radha, who asked, what's a moon sitting on the sun, what it does. Dark moon, that means that you are not able to even see, recognize your own emotions. So it's more difficult for you to recognize the emotions of others. Okay? Somebody that have full moon, they have the full capacity of empathy toward others. Yeah, they don't have to do much, but they understand where people come from. And somebody with dark moon, they have more difficulty. They have to learn how to do this.
There's
Okay.
a couple other questions for me. One question was, how do you find your teacher?
How do you find your teacher? How do you find a husband? You find husband, you find wife. You know, you can look for a long time. But, you know, the main thing is how to find yourself. You find yourself, then the husband will appear, the wife will appear. If you find yourself, then the teacher will appear. So that means start to practice. And then, because the whole point of teacher is to what? Is to practice. Because the teacher is not going to liberate for you. You are the one that will have to liberate from your own misconception. So the bulk of the work has to be done by you. And the teacher is just pointing out a few of your trait of characters and, you know, and try to help you and encourage you. But the main bulk of the work is you. So, you know, so if you find a system of teaching that is helpful for you, start to practice. And then you find the teacher. Yeah. So you need to practice first. Because sometimes you have all this romantic idea about teacher. Teacher need to say this, teacher need to do that, teacher need to look like this. But it's just an idea. It's not really what you need. Yeah. So you need to practice. And then, you know, then you find a teacher. So that's somebody say, is there a tendency to over-imagine besides meditation? Any specific practice you would recommend to overcome? If there is a tendency to over-imagine, is there a specific practice you would recommend to overcome? So you need to, in general, is you need to counteract the tendency of the mind. So you said that there is a tendency to over-imagine. So you can imagine that you need to be more realistic and more grounded. Yeah. And you will not allow your mind to go too much in some kind of fantasy. Yes. So what the idea is always to do the opposite of what the mind is. The mind has that tendency toward, you know, imagination, toward ungroundedness. And at that time, you need to be much more realistic about things. You can be friend of somebody that is so realistic, and then you feel like whatever the person say, you feel, oh my God, it's not so nice. You know, it's not romantic, it's not sweet, it's not nice, it's so dry. And yet, you know, at the same time, and it will help to counteract your tendency to always fantasize. Okay? So, to live with people is very helpful because your mind will have to confront to other people's mind. You know, what is good for you is not good for somebody else. So, you know, so then you eventually you open up and all the angularities of your mind start to become more smooth. Okay, so that's why we live in community, so that we can friction with each other, and then you know, we can detach from the mind. Okay, no more question. I continue. for 10 more minutes. So I will just go through some words that you need to think that this is something that you want your mind to be. And it's called positive thoughts. What you think is what you are. So you want to think of these words. Okay? That is more sattvic, that is more pure, that is more positive. And this is what you want your mind to be. Yeah? Because it's more transparent. It can eventually lead you to the light. And then I'll give you another set of words, is the opposite. It's something that you need to be aware, awake, and you need to change. Okay? So these are the different exercise about thought that you can do a lot. And the more that you do, the more you are expert, and the more that you would be able to manipulate your mind and be free from the mind and be detached from the mind. Okay? So I like you to think of the word happy. You like to be happy. Yeah? Even though it might not be the permanent happiness of the Atman, but in general, your mind disposition it to be positive and happy. Okay? Because it gives you more prana. Your disposition of the mind, you want to be thinking about joy. Okay? You want to be healthy, thinking about health. Don't think about disease, but think about health. Okay? Your mind like to think about being loving. Okay? You can be loving, yeah, toward everybody. Yeah, that means it's a quality of your heart. Compassionate. You want to think about this. You want to think of knowledge. Yeah. You think of knowledge, so you become more curious about knowledge. So you like to learn. I see most of the time people, they suffer from their own ignorance, but not many people are very curious about knowledge. Yeah. Which is amazing to me. Yeah, people is in such a state of tamas, or they're just content with whatever they know and they don't have any curiosity. I see people don't go and get a book and go and find something and study. You know, they're just content in a false way with whatever they know. Yeah. And if somebody force the knowledge within them, and then maybe they take a little bit, but they don't have the motivation. So you need to keep the idea of knowledge in your mind. You need to keep the idea of wisdom in your mind. You like to be wise. So when you face a conflict or something, what is the wise thing to do? Okay. So you like to feeling to go upward. You want to feel going upward. You don't know what means upward, but you feel that you are lighter and you're going upward. You want that feeling. Okay. You want the feeling to be expanded. Expanded means big. And sometimes you feel like I'm so big. Yeah. Sky's the limit. Yeah. You want that kind of feeling. Okay. You want to feel selfless or be selfless. Okay. What that means? Not egoistic. Okay. Discipline. Yeah. You like to think of discipline in a positive manner. Do things a certain way, a certain time. Do the right thing. You want to feel uplifted. Uplifted. What that means? You feel like you are, like you walk 3 feet above the ground, or tiptoes, like this, light, uplifted. Okay? So you want to feel light. Okay? You want to be feeling forgiving. That means in your heart you don't hold any grudge toward anybody. You forgive everybody. You want to feel wholesome. I mean, together, oneness, harmonious, peaceful, creative, productive, courageous, united. So these are all positive thoughts. You want to feel, to be able to be thoughtful about something. Yeah, instead of being so indifferent and not really thinking proper, you know, be insensitive. You want to feel sensitive. You want to have empathy. Courageous. Courage is a very important quality. You need to think of it. You want to be flexible. You want to have a feeling of flowing, you know, floating, flowing with life, growing, going upward, growing. You want to feel devotional, have love for the highest in your heart. You want to have faith, because faith will make you very peaceful and secure, because you have faith instead of having doubt. Yeah? You want to feel all the time focused, yeah? Because when you are focused, you are present. You want to feel united, that means not separated for anybody. You want to feel strong, yeah, but not abusive. You just simply be yourself, but you are strong. You want to feel calm, okay? You want to feel equanimous. That means what? That means evenness of mind, not up and down and high and low. You know, you don't want that. You want to feel serene and tranquil, okay? You want to feel forbearing. That means what? That means difficulty, you'll be able to bear it, okay? So forbearing in itself is positive. You want to feel honest, be content, very good quality, to feel content, okay? That means not desirous, not restless. You want to feel blissful, truthful, independent. Doesn't mean that you are egoistic, independent, but you are self-reliant, okay? You want to feel, be able to surrender. That means what? You don't have to, surrender means you have that faith and you relax and you accept everything. You don't have to control, over controlling everything, okay? And you like to feel that you go forward, yeah, like we said upward, but now it's forward. You want to feel bright, yeah, soft-spoken. Soft-spoken is very good quality. I mean, you have to say something, you say it nicely, yeah. Non-violent. Non-violent is ahimsa, means respectful, yeah. Austere. Austere is a good quality. That means you are not indulgent. You want to feel detached as opposed to being attached. You want to feel vigilant. Be vigilant. Have a clear mind. Have an even mind. We almost finished. Well, we want to be flexible and adaptable. You want to feel beautiful. You want to see beauty, feel beautiful. You want to feel connected. Yeah, sometimes you don't feel connected, right? So you want to feel all the time connected. Connected to what? You don't know. Connected to yourself, connected to the universe, connected to God, connected. When you feel connected, you feel very strong. And you want to feel relaxed, yeah, instead of stressed. You want to feel, you want to be moderate. Moderate means not extreme, okay? Balance, considerate, dispassionate. Dispassionate doesn't mean that your life is bored. Yeah, it just means that you are detached. Why you are detached? Because you are fulfilled already. Because you function out of the level of the Atman, so you are detached. Okay, so these are words that you need to keep in mind. You need to think about this. But what you think about, that's what you become. Okay? You think I'm relaxed, and you become relaxed. Yeah? You think I'm very adaptable, then you become adaptable. Okay? So now I give you a whole bunch of words that you need to really be vigilant about. That means when these things show up in your mind, you need to do something about it. Okay? So when you feel unhappy, yeah, do something about it. Yeah? You are away from yourself here, because if you are closer to yourself, then you feel happy. But you feel unhappy, I mean something you're thinking at that moment is alienating yourself. Okay? If you are depressed, yeah, also something is wrong. You have no energy, you have no motivation. If you are unhealthy, yeah, in your behavior, in your food, if you have hatred in your mind, yeah, when you see people fighting this that, then you take part, and then you say, oh, I hate this, I hate that. Try to avoid the word hatred out of your vocabulary. Yeah, try not to be judgmental, because you are judgmental out of your ego. Chaotic, when things are chaotic, like sometimes now, in the country everything is chaotic, then it's not a good thing. You want to think of harmony. So the way how it works is, you think of something negative, you can replace it with something the opposite. Okay, the opposite of chaotic is harmony. The opposite of judgmental is maybe being tolerant. The opposite of hatred is love. The opposite of undisciplined is discipline. The opposite of lazy, when you feel lazy, yeah, is being enthusiastic about things. The opposite of slothful, and when you don't care, when you just throw things around and you don't care, is basically caring. The opposite of unrighteousness is righteousness. Opposite of carelessness is care. Opposite of angry is anger comes from desire unfulfilled. Opposite of angry is contentment. When you let go of your expectation, you are angry only because you have so much expectation about somebody's behavior. But you have to let go of your expectation, and then you're fine. Okay. The opposite of revengeful is forgiveness. Opposite of restlessness is peace. Opposite of fearful is courage. Opposite of anxiety, anxious, is faith. Opposite of worried also is faith. Opposite of shyness is self-confidence. Opposite of doubtful, yeah, is faith. The opposite of being stuck, when you feel I'm stuck, I'm here, I'm doing this, I don't like it. Yeah, you need to think of the opposite of stuckness is flowing. Okay, so you can do self-affirmation if you feel something. Yeah, you can see stuck. It's like, you have to draw the picture. You can imagine yourself to be floating in the river, flowing. Yeah, you have to use your thoughts to think of the opposite. Opposite of stagnant, being stagnant. Oh, I'm stuck, I'm stagnant, I'm not growing, and always do the same thing. I'm so tired of myself, life is so boring, this kind of thing. Then you have to think of progress, right? Then you need to keep thinking progress instead of keeping repeating to yourself, I'm stagnant, I'm not growing, I'm stagnant, I'm bored. Yeah. If you feel irresponsible, you need to think the opposite, which is responsibility. Jealousy, envy is Jealousy, envy come from the idea of yourself to get something because you think that you deserve it, but you don't really know, how the person can get something because they have suffered a lot and that their karma, give them this. But you have a misconception of your own karma. So you have to be more, realistic about who you are instead of being jealous and envious. Yeah. To be more accepting, be content. Opposite of skeptical means not having faith, belief. Opposite of proud, being prideful or proud, is humility. Opposite of being abusive is respectful. Opposite of frustration is means form of anger. So you have to be frustration. You have to be accepting. Opposite of irritability, is patience. Opposite of arrogance, again, is humility. Opposite of selfishness, again, is selflessness. Opposite of feeling limited is feeling expanded, unlimited. Opposite of feeling rigid, sometimes you feel yourself, I want to hold on to this, I want to say no, I want to be rigid. You need to think of being flowing, being flexible, adaptable. Opposite of going downward, and you need to think of, if you feel that you are going downward, then you need to feel that I am expanded, I am going upward. Just the fact that you're replacing the opposite, make it happen. Opposite of indulgent means discipline. Opposite of being addictive means be more discipline. These kind of words you can do exercise and so on, but in the form context of the webinar and the online we cannot do this. So so we will have to catch up with each other another time, be in a real life context where we can do exercise about thoughts. Is very nice. So what else? Rigid, downward, indulgent, addictive, crazy. Oftentimes you say like this, so crazy, So the opposite of crazy is this one. Is I would say orderly, something crazy. I mean, it's beyond your concept. So things are more, orderly, grounded. Yeah, grounded. Yeah. Self-doubt is have faith in yourself. Self-hatred means self-love. Spiteful. Spiteful means opposite of spiteful. Anybody? Actually, I don't know exactly the meaning of the word. Spiteful means
revenge. You're trying to get revenge.
Try to get revenge. Okay, so then
Or
it's
holding a grudge. Holding a grudge.
Holding grudge. Okay.
So compassionate.
Compassion, forgiveness.
Empathy.
Opposite of dishonesty is honest.
Satya.
Manipulative.
Straightforward.
Straightforward, yes. Lustful. Lustful is passionate nature. So, it's pure. Pure. Unstable is stable. Opposite of being attached is to be detached. Opposite of possessiveness is to be generous. Sharing. Opposite of self-righteousness is to self-righteousness. I mean, you yourself think that I deserve this, I want this, I deserve this. But you are not the one that have to be that can be the judge. Yeah. So I would say self-surrendered. Opposite of contempt. When you look down at somebody, then you need to, I would say, humility, respect. Opposite of viciousness, vicious, being vicious. I mean, you do wrong and you don't care.
Gentle.
Huh?
Gentle.
Yes. Yeah, be gentle. Opposite of being sinful, that means dharmic. Opposite of being perverted, I mean things are opposite, perverting. So opposite of perverted,
Pure.
huh?
Pure.
Pure, good. Procrastinating. If you're not procrastinating, then you will be
DIN.
DIN means do it now. That means I would say you would have to surrender your sense of liking or not liking, your sense of perfection, not perfection. That makes you sometimes you don't do things that you're supposed to do at this moment. So you just have to do it and then surrender the result. Opposite of pessimistic is optimistic. Opposite of the sense of feeling lack. Sometimes you feel lack. I don't have this, I don't have that. You feel empty, you feel lack, is feel fulfilled. Opposite of being naive is naive. Opposite of naive is
Realistic.
Realistic, yeah. Inconsiderate is considerate. Opposite of weak is strong, and we almost finished. Opposite of feeling empty, if you feel empty sometimes, yeah, because you are not fulfilled. Yeah, so you need to think of I'm fulfilled instead of feeling I'm empty and I need to go eat something because I'm empty. I need to go shop something because I'm empty. Then you need to feel opposite. I'm feeling fulfilled. Opposite of desirous, then fulfill, content. Opposite of greed is generosity. Opposite of exaggerating means, being truthful. Opposite of being imbalanced is balance. Opposite of inconsistency means to be consistent. Opposite of wastefulness is to be conservative. Opposite of meanness is to be generous. Opposite of being stingy is to be generous. Opposite of being sensual is to be
Austere.
to be what?
Austere.
Austere, yeah. Pulling inward. Opposite of worldly means your mind going out and to go inwards. So that's how you play with your mind. You play with all the thoughts in your mind. You can do it by day. You can give yourself the exercise. The idea is you need to know is what you think is what you are. At the same time, what you think is not who you are, because there is another higher level. So you need to keep thinking of your thoughts, manipulating your thoughts, because it will change your consciousness and you bring you closer to who you are. So you need to always go to the sattvic, the pure thoughts. So now I give you some suggestion of how to do this practically. On Monday, you need to give to yourself a quality, something you think about. For example, you need to think about detachment and attachment on Monday. On Tuesday, you need to think about courage as opposed to fear and anxiety. Wednesday, you think about compassion instead of being judgmental. On Thursday, you need to think about faith instead of doubt. On Friday, you think about charity instead of greed. On Saturday, you think of patience instead of impatience. And on Sunday, you think of forgiveness instead of narrow-mindedness. So you give certain quality like this, and then you just rotate the thoughts, you know, so you can keep working on it. Or you can say the opposite. You can say, not the opposite, but you can say, January is a month of austerity as opposed to indulgence. So you think about this. February is the month of generosity instead of stinginess. So in February, you cannot be stingy. You have to be generous all the time. That's your practice. In March is a month of vigilance instead of slothfulness. In April is the month to practice pure love instead of lustful. In May, you practice creativity instead of being stagnant. In June, now we are June, May, creativity instead of being stagnant. In June, tomorrow, you need to practice forgiveness instead of vengefulness. In July, you practice equanimity instead of being biased. In August, you practice serenity instead of being all the time disturbed. In September, you practice straightforwardness instead of hypocrisy. In October, you practice adaptability instead of rigidity. In November, you practice self-discipline instead of being distracted. In December, you practice charity, selflessness instead of egoism. So the last thing is I give you a prayer here. So you show the last. I share with you my screen. Okay. So this is my wish for you. My prayer ending. Yeah. So the 8 kind of prosperity. So you need to think about this. We pray that you receive the 8 gift from Mother Lakshmi, the Ashta Lakshmi, the 8 kind of Lakshmi, the wealth, the abundance. So first is the courage. So we pray that you have courage. Second is wealth. We pray that you have wealth. Third, we pray that you have education and knowledge. Fourth, we pray that you have career or something that you like to do. You are doing what you like to do. Fifth, we pray that you are well nourished, yeah, physically, but also spiritually. 6, we pray that you have health, yeah, physically, mentally, spiritually. 7, we pray that you have a family, or it can be community, people surrounding you. And 8, we pray that you have long life so you can have time to do all those things. Okay, so that's it. Somebody has a new message here. What is it? Thank you, Swamiji, for this complex and beautiful satsang, enlightening and practical. Thank you again. Thanks to all. Om Namah Shivaya. And somebody say, Frawley has a course. What is it? Which course?
Swamiji, you want to ask for donation? Because this is a free satsang and the ashram depending on donation. So
okay.
that's already.
Okay. So if you want to practice generosity, you can you can pop a donation to the ashram. You go to the ashram page, yogafarm.org donation, any amount. Somebody say, ha ha ha. Which Sadashiva is that? Who's Sadashiva? Oh, Bruno. Oh, from Brazil. Very nice. I'm glad that you are there. Okay. So, okay, so that's the announcement. And you can have the copy of this. Give us a few days in the internet. Not a few days, maybe one day. And then also the YouTube video. And the next week, satsang will be there same time. And you can spread the words. The more that people elevate themselves and be good, do good, and the more the world will be a better place. So we pray for forgiveness to all those who have made mistake. Yeah, small mistake, big mistake. And we all do. We all make mistake. So we need to pray and don't be angry. It doesn't help. It just create more problem. So we all pray for your 8 Lakshmi. Yeah. So may all be fulfilled. Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnan Purnai Punasaya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bolo Satguru Sri Sivananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Bolo Sri Vishnu Devananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you very much, everybody, for being so patient. There's 99 people still now for after more than 2 hours. Yeah, it's a very complex topic, like I said, and it's not easy to talk, from heaven to earth, and all the different aspects of our thought and feeling. So I hope it helped you. Any question you can write, and then we hope to see you again. Thank you very much. Okay, Om.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Okay. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you, all the translator. Very patient. You have Yamuna, thank you. Kumari, thank you. And also we have Priya Chaitanya, thank you. We have Guzal, thank you. Guzal, her name is
Yashoda.
Yashoda. Translation in Russian. Thank you. We'd like to thank Swami Adipa Shakti. Yeah, and we'd like to thank Swami Dhammananda holding the yoga farm down. We'd like to thank Swami Shiva Shankari holding the Los Angeles Center down, and all the directors and the whole Sivananda organization trying to do the impossible work in the lockdown and everything. So they are doing a lot of online courses. Yoga Farm has a lot of online courses. And then upcoming program, big program is we have a July 4th weekend. And we just finished the Memorial Day weekend. And, now we have working on the July 4th weekend. And what I heard is Dr. David Frawley will be coming. And then many people will be sharing their thoughts on how the Vedic sciences can help the world in this time. Okay. Om Namah Shivaya. Machiko, thank you. Thank you. Nice to have you there, Mahadeva. Thank you. Which Mahadeva? China, Mahadeva. Thank you. Okay. Om Namah Shivaya, everybody.
Thank you.
Om.